Okay, it's a Saturday morning in my world, which means auto repair. 2011 Dodge Ram. It sat a while. Had a seized brake caliper. So we, did the right thing. Took the old one, put some, oily stuff on it. Got it working again. Worked for a while, as anticipated. But, knew it was only temporary. Today, we're going to change it. Yeah, I should tell you, I don't make these videos. Ooh, rust. I don't make these videos because I'm like awesome. I make them because I'm not. It's my way of saying, hey, you might have a project to do. You might be able to do it. I don't know you. Maybe you can't. Maybe it'll be a big mess. I have no idea. But here we go. Raise the vehicle. I'm sure you can figure out how to do that. Jack stand. I'm not teaching any of that. We're gonna knock this wheel off and then I'll show you the caliper. So this might not matter to you, but to me it did. This has gotten really hot. I cleaned this up and cracked that just to make sure I'm gonna be able to get that, I think they call it a banjo bolt out. It holds the brake line. And I could, so I'm gonna go ahead. You're gonna snap this bolt right here off and we'll swing in and you can see the one on the bottom. I think it is right in here. There you go, move the line, same size. And then that whole caliper is gonna come off. The brake pads are pretty close to new. I'm gonna keep those and we're gonna go get a new caliper. I'll show you. I couldn't see on the camera any better than you could. Pointed at the wrong bottom bolt. You're taking out this one right here, not the other one. That's bad. If I was changing brake pads, I'd tell you to get a wire and hang this from one of these rusty control arms, but I'm not. What I'm actually doing is changing a caliper. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack this hose, take it right off, hang the hose, and pull the whole caliper off. The bolts are free. Things will move around, so here we go. These are good and stuck, but just a little pry. We'll get them moving, and you can figure it out. We'll show you this, because it had been hot and rusty and salt and whatever. This was stuck. You couldn't just pull it off by hand. So you can go right underneath the line and just ever so gently pry. Ever so gently. If it takes a big pry, then you're gonna break the brake line and you're gonna have way more trouble than you want. So don't break it, okay? Just gentle, and it'll come. And if it doesn't, it's not going to, then you need to start thinking about heat and other blah. Anyway, careful, that's what I'm saying. Okay, lastly, I just wrap it in a rag because it's gonna keep dripping. Don't let it drip on your bushings like I did or anything rubber. And I always throw a tire under there because if everything goes to snot in the jack anyway and it falls down, then it's not sitting right in the dirt and you can get it up easier. Ask me how I know. Also, because I want my brake pads, I have to take out the bolts in the slide pins. I did not show you this, but I loosened them while it was still mounted. Just kind of loosen them off because it's easier when it's on the vehicle. I'm just doing that because I want the brake pads and the little metal clippy things. I don't know what they're called. Okay, it's a brand new caliper. Some of them put grease on them, some don't. There's a very small amount on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more on. This is the bracket. I took it off the caliper laying right there. And then we're gonna mount it on the truck. There you have it. If it's a new caliper, they move nice and freely. If it's an old caliper, it's hard to jam them in there, but you'll figure it out. All right, now we're gonna mount it. But I'm gonna put the actual caliper back on because it will hold those brake pads in place. Here you go, pins are greased, bottom bolt's in. We're putting the top bolt in. I always put a little never sees on them because I'm pessimistic. I assume that I will be the next guy in there. Okay, here's our old brake line that definitely hasn't been leaking all over everything. Of course not. That is a crush washer, and that is a crush washer. Your new caliper is going to come with one of those, but you need to get those off. So if you got some kind of a pick tool, something like that, you just pick them off. You can do it. All right, there you go. We torque it all in. I've looked up online. I've read between 122 and 137 foot-pounds for those. You look it up yourself. I've read between 22 and 30 for those. You look it up yourself. And I've read between 22 and 35 for the banjo bolt, which seems excessive. So look it up yourself. Do your own research. Decide who you trust. Really shouldn't be this guy that doesn't know what he's doing. But you can find him. It's the Googles, you can do it. Okay, fill up the brake juice because if you're like me, you lost some. And then this is a bleed screw. There's better videos about bleeding brakes, but basically you pressurize the system. You let the pressure off till the air stops coming, and you repeat if you have to. Easiest way I know to do it is with a helper pushing the pedal to the floor. So we're gonna do that and then catch all this brake fluid so it doesn't end up on the driveway. Yep, pump it up again. One more time. All right, should be mentioned that if you're bleeding brakes and you want to be nice and neat, a little rubber hose is your friend. They can fit right on there. And then you can, you know, recycle stuff. I'm gonna torque this wheel on. If you read online, most people say the same number, and you should read online. And the reason is, you really shouldn't take the word of a no-name knucklehead that you're looking at right now that really doesn't know what he's doing when you can get factory service manuals. That's the main reason I don't give what I would call good, accurate torque specs. Is I just feel like people should be able to look them up. I don't mean that, you know, it's a bad thing. I just mean you shouldn't trust me. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I hope your Saturday is going well. Today's a Saturday. Anyway. All right, the cleanup's all done. The wheel's on. There it is. We're gonna give it a shot. Should be fine. If you found it helpful, well, I'm glad. If you didn't, well, I never promised you would. But if you got any tips to help me or other people, fire them in the comments, because frankly, I'm just doing it because I don't have the money to pay somebody else. And there was an older mechanic one time said, you can probably do it. So this is my way of saying, you can probably do it. I wish you the best.